This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All content provided is intended for educational purposes only.
I'm fucking bleeding!
Just one of those.
Fuck yeah!
Everybody sucks. You know why? But you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact. And if you interact, your life is on contract. Stay away, motherfucker. It's just one of those days.
Alright, what is up, brothers? What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the weekly Q&A, where we discuss just bodybuilding topics, life, anything that you guys want to know about my life, bodybuilding, fitness, gear, all that shit, dating, whatever it is. If you guys have any questions or content ideas, please drop them in the comments. Or if you guys have any experiences yourself with, you know, gear, bad experiences, good experiences, drop them in the comments so other people may learn from those mistakes, or, you know, may grow from those experiences. But today we are talking about the bad experiences with gear personally. So I've been using anabolics for about 3 years now, so since 2022, so it's 2025. And I would say the number one thing that would pop up when I think about like bad experiences is probably mixing steroids and alcohol. And steroids by themselves are fucking phenomenal. They get you super pumped. They're anabolic as hell. You go into the gym, you lift crazy weights, you grow, your muscle recovery's a lot faster. You know, there is the health, you know, disadvantages where it does do a lot of damage on your organs, and then you have to keep your blood pressure in check. You got to make sure that you're taking all your vitamins, you're donating blood, you're not doing anything too crazy. You got to keep track of your heart, get an EKG scan if you can, or go to a heart doctor or cardiovascular doctor. But if you can't do those things, then and you're just, you know, sending it, that's totally fine too. Just keep track of your blood pressure and make sure that you don't blast for too long. Cruise, make sure you're taking your mandatory cruises, health phases, and you're doing cardio. But with that aside, my personal experiences with the alcohol and gear, I don't drink anymore, but when I did, the gear just gets you super juiced, super amped. You feel aggressive, your hormones are heightened, you feel like a fucking lion, you feel like an absolute warrior. And when you have alcohol, it inhibits, you know, parts of your brain where you can't make, you know, good decisions, where you don't have that conscience in the back of your brain saying, oh, don't do this, or, you know, this could happen. You just, that fear factor, you just don't give a fuck. So if you guys have ever drank and you got super wasted and you do a bunch of crazy shit like speeding on the highway, going super fast, and you don't give a fuck, you're like, I don't give a fuck if I die, or you get into a fight with somebody and you're like, I don't give a fuck, or you say crazy stuff at the bar, or you just do like obnoxious, wild things that you wouldn't normally do because that fear factor's gone. You don't feel that conscious, you know, that voice in your head saying don't do this, and you kind of are numb to pain and all this other stuff, all the other things. That's why people like getting drunk and getting wasted, because you're kind of numbing out your feelings and your emotions, and you're just numbing everything out, and you're just kind of living off of this buzz. So when you mix that with alcohol, it's like two super high buzzes. Now you don't feel anything, you're riding this wave, you feel great, you don't give a fuck, you have no fear, and then you also feel like the shit. You're super aggressive, you get frustrated over like littlest things that you take completely out of context. You're super, like, you know, paranoid and just fucking it's just not a good combination when you're at least blasting and taking alcohol. When I was on test and drinking, high testosterone, maybe adding in like another compound, a couple other compounds, I just felt really good, but I was able to like control myself. I wasn't like completely out of control. But here, let's take this off. I don't like this. Ooh. There we go. But when I was personally on Tren and test and you know, drinking, this was like early in my, you know, anabolic bodybuilding career when I just started taking gear, because you know there's not a lot of people that are out there, even though like the bodybuilding community and like the gear community is like very large, but like in your inner circle or within like your realm of people within your city, there's not that many people that can like really help you or give you advice. And a lot of people don't bodybuild or take gear responsibly. A lot of people just slam gear and party hard and not give a fuck about their diet, and it's actually really astonishing how many people take gear and look like shit and party and don't give a fuck. You know, it's like, dude, the reason why you're not hitting your goals and the reason why you look bad is because you're not taking anything seriously. You're just stabbing yourself with steroids and it's doing the same shit and expecting results, and that's not how it works, brother. And so, you know, I was around those type of people, so it kind of copied onto me a little bit, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out, I feel like the shit. You know, why would you not want to go out if you're single? You know, feel like the shit and also get a buzz going, because then you feel like an alpha dog that could kill and beat the shit out of anybody, and you don't even need alcohol. And then if you have alcohol, it's just 10 times better, because you're just like this fucking king. You're the god. You're a fucking god amongst peasants. That's literally how you feel when you're like drinking and you're blasting gear. So you start a lot of start a lot of just fights, confrontations. You start a lot of confrontations with people just out of nowhere. My personal experience where I just had really short temper with somebody, they like cut me off in line, and they didn't even mean to, and you know, immediately I exploded. I'm like fucking blowing up, cursing at this guy. This guy's with his girl and like some other people, and he's like spitting it back at me, and I'm like, motherfucker, let's go fucking outside. Let's go outside. Like, you have so much fucking confidence and like just feel this power, plus when you don't have like the mental stability and you just feel like you're drunk and stuff, you could really do anything. Like, there's nothing you can't do. You feel like you're fucking invincible. When you're drinking it, you already kind of feel like that, but with the anabolics, it's just really not okay, because that's when you really get into trouble, and you fight fucking, you do crazy shit. You'd even fight a cop. You wouldn't even give a fuck. Like, if I had to fight a cop, like, you don't think about anything like that. You just think about how do I get on top right now, and how do I take care of this fucking bullshit. It's just the craziest combination with your brain and your emotions and stuff like that, especially when you're blasting. So, word of advice, avoid drinking alcohol completely when you're on anabolics. It's not going to help you grow. It's not going to help you get better. It's not going to help you find the right girl. If anything, it's just going to like stagnate the gains, and spend your money, and it's just not going to help you out at all. Especially if you're blasting gear. If you're just like blasting a TRT dose or like a high test, and you're blasting that and you're going out and you're just partying and stuff like that, and you don't care about bodybuilding. Some people do that. Some people just blast test and they don't care about bodybuilding. They just want to look decent and just have fun, and you know, and that's their choice. That's fine, you know, do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, I'm going to get bigger than that guy. I'm going to get bigger than them. They're going to stay the same size. They're going to spend all their money on, you know, trashy women, going to the bars and drinking. And they're still going to have the same damage on their body. Actually, more so, because they're drinking alcohol on top of it. So all these toxins in your liver, again, fucking just destroying your liver and just destroying your body. And you're trying to keep, you know, the destruction to a minimum. That's why it's good to keep your health in check by donating blood, checking your blood pressure, taking all your multivitamins, you know, doing your cardio every day, eating a clean diet. Clean diet is huge. Keeping your cholesterol in check. But if you're blasting gear and you're drinking, it's really just going to be, you know, a domino effect, because it's not good for gains. It's triple bad on your organs. You're not going to find a good woman out there. And then you know, going to get yourself in some serious trouble, man. And like, I love feeling like the shit. I love feeling like the fucking man, but I take that out on the weights, and then once I'm done like beating the weights, beating myself down, destroying my body, I'm good for the day. I don't need to do nothing else. I don't feel like the shit anymore. I make sure I leave that in the gym. You know, when I come out of the gym, super chill, dude. I'm not trying to fight anybody. I don't want to do nothing with anybody. I don't want any beef with nobody. If you have beef with me, that's your own shit. I will do the most to avoid fighting, just because it's not in my life right now, bro. I don't want to fight somebody and end up getting hurt and then push me back in my bodybuilding career and push me back in the gym, because now I'm, you know, coming back from a stupid injury that I got at a gas station. Some dude talking shit. Like, it's okay to like talk shit back, but like, and of course defend yourself any means necessary. Like, somebody's coming at you, you take them out 100%, but don't like start a fight is what I'm saying. You could finish the fucking fight. If it happens, you take them down, you body slam them, you fucking be ruthless, but just don't kill them. But if just don't start anything. You want to start, that's the thing, when you're on Tren. When I was on Tren at like first cycle, this is why I like to say, you know, experience on these compounds is really important, because you can channel how you feel and you get more aware of how you feel on these compounds, so you could kind of channel those emotions and like keep it inside your head and not fucking explode on somebody and breathe in and all that stuff. But you're super amped up on this gear, right? So sometimes you want to start a fight. Sometimes, most of the time, especially if you're on drinking alcohol, like you want to start a fight when you're drinking alcohol. Just imagine on Tren too. It's like triple, it's like quadruple, it's like 100 times more. You want to start a fight. You're literally walking around waiting to blow up on somebody. You want to blow up on somebody. You have so much aggression. These toxins are just ripping out of your body. You feel so explosive. Your body's so pumped. You don't feel any pain. You just want to look at the nearest guy, probably the biggest guy in the room, and just sucker punch him as hard as you fucking can. Knock him the fuck out. Or just walk up to the biggest guy, the bouncer, spit in his face and headbutt him, or do this craziest shit. You want to do that. It's just that manic, animalistic feeling when you're on like these crazy compounds like Tren. So like, I felt like that when I was on it the first time. I was drinking like an idiot, and you know, I ended up getting in a fucking massive fight, bro. I was fighting like 3 dudes in the street. I spit on this dude's face after my friend was apologizing for me. He was like, hey, he wasn't like trying to start anything. I said, fuck that. I spit on this dude's face. Immediately, we just all started throwing hands. I actually got fucking kicked in the rib when I was on the ground fucking pounding this dude. And that was like something that I noticed too. Like you don't recognize how like powerful you are until you hit somebody, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm pretty fucking strong. But your cardiovascular's ass. Like, your cardiovascular, your endurance, like you're not built for, you know, fighting for more than 30 seconds. So it was really difficult for me to keep up and like box these dudes. So we're just fucking rolling on the ground at this point. I'm on top of this guy. Somebody kicks me in my rib, bro. And to this day, I still feel like a weird kind of crunch. And I haven't got that ever checked. But you don't really notice it when you're on anabolics. You don't feel pain at all, which is the craziest part. Like, I just ate that shit and I just kept beating on this dude. And you know, you don't feel, that's why it's crazy when you think of like MMA fighters or like real fighters on gear, because you don't feel pain. And I experienced that like firsthand. Like, you don't feel pain, you just want to rip this dude's head off. You will do whatever it takes at that moment. The only thing that's like holding you back is your cardiovascular. Like, you're like wanting to kill this dude, but you're just like like, my heart needs to catch up, like my lungs need to catch up. I'm like I'm ahead of this person already, but I'm just so fucking tired already. And that was a shitty experience, because I mean, it wasn't a shitty experience, it was a learning experience. I definitely got my aggression out, and I was able to you know, see from the repercussions of what happens when you blow up on somebody and you just fucking, you're totally retarded about it, because you get your ass beat. I didn't fucking win that fight. I might have gotten like 3 or 4 really good shots on like 1 or 2 guys, but they dogged me, bro. And I'm just out of breath. I was eating their punches and shit, but as a bodybuilder and a dude on gear, you don't really train for that endurance shit. So if it's like a fair fight, one-on-one, I would have been on top for sure, just fucking. But you gotta remember, like, you got all that endurance stuff when you're in a street fight. Like, there's no time limit, so that's when it's good to have, you know, your cardio up. But just be the bigger man, just try to avoid it in the fucking first place. But if it happens, it happens. Fucking channel your breathing, keep track of your breathing. Don't try to waste all your energy up front and just throwing all these haymakers, just trying to, that's just something that I kind of blew myself out immediately, throwing a bunch of haymakers and fucking tackling this dude. And then you're on the ground, and now you're fucked, because now you got to get up from the ground and you're trying to fight this dude and block other people's shots. And you're just this meatball rolling on the ground on top of somebody. Just like crazy shit, bro. And honestly, that was just because of my own immaturity, just being a younger dude that liked to drink alcohol. This was when I was like 23, so probably like 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. But Tren and alcohol, man, do not mix, bro. Tren and alcohol are not this fucking way. Just test and alcohol, you still feel like the shit, you still feel amped up, you could fight anybody. But like the Tren specifically, I was just ready to explode on somebody. I wanted to explode on somebody. And that's where you really got to learn how to channel your emotions, because you don't want to do that, man. Like, that's the last thing you want to do, is waste your potential fighting some goon, and it's gonna mess up your whole life. And once you come off the anabolics, you're just gonna feel like a complete idiot, because you're like, dude, why the fuck did I do that? I don't feel like that normally. Like, I wouldn't have cared if somebody cut me in line. I mean, I would have normally, but I wouldn't have spit on their face and like called them all these words like immediately and just told them to go outside. Like, and that's how like fast it happens. It just happens like immediately. And that was my own fault, just not controlling my own fucking temper, bro. But when you're on these compounds, man, it's just it's hard to not let it out, because you're just like that's why I like to say it's good to have experience on them, because then you can understand how you feel and understand where your headspace goes. Because you do get paranoid, you do get frustrated, you do get very aggressive, you do get irritated, you do get, you know, that paranoia shit is funny, because it's like, it's not like when you smoke weed and you're paranoid. It's like an aggressive, like, people kind of are out to fucking, you know, shit on you and like doing things intentionally against you. It's so weird, bro. It's like such a weird thing, but I love it. I love it, man. I love what it brings. You just gotta be able to be, don't let the gear control you. You gotta control the gear. Don't let the gear manipulate you. You manipulate the gear to work how you want it. So maybe lower the dose, man. If you're popping off on people in the grocery store or a gas station ripping heads off, maybe you gotta lower that shit. You're still gonna make gains, but definitely that's one of the reasons why I don't drink anymore, just because it's I'd always like had that aggression to fight people when I drank, but then on the gear it's just not even, it's just retarded. And then it's just, you're not going to make any gains, man. And at the end of the day, you're trying to get better, you're trying to grow, you're trying to become a better version of yourself, and it's just like, this is like holding me back. I'm not reaching my full fucking potential because I'm out here fucking off, drinking with some fucking losers, drowning myself in sorrows and fucking spending money, not even like pushing myself to my full potential. And now I feel guilty about it. Like, if you feel guilty about doing some shit, why the fuck are you doing it? If you feel guilty after doing some shit, you better learn and not do that shit anymore. Like, fuck, I gotta fucking practice what I preach, man. Sometimes when I fucking, if I have like a cheat day and I go a little bit over, back in the day, I'd fucking, I was like, oh, it's just, but then you feel guilty about it. You're like, fuck, why the fuck did I do that? I'm a piece of shit. So it's like, yeah, why the fuck did you do that? It's because you're not helping yourself. Now you feel guilty about it. So learn from your mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Nobody just immediately doesn't do anything wrong. Like, that's, everybody figures it out. Figure it out. But yeah, the trend in the test and getting drunk is not a good situation. And honestly, if you're an already aggressive personality, you shouldn't be drinking really anyways, just because it's like, bro, what? I would rather go into a ring and fight somebody and like actually fight somebody and grow from that, and like practice takedowns and like moves and shit, and like actually train with like a legit like other fighter than just like random people at 7-Eleven, because they're not going to help you get, I mean, I guess they could help you be a better fighter by just experience of getting fighting and stuff, but the more experience the better. But when you're out in the real world, people could press charges and stuff, and you could hurt somebody and kill somebody and stuff like that, and it's just a lot less drama if you do it like at a gym where that's where it's at. Like, nobody's gonna press charges if you fucking break a nose at a boxing gym, because that shit happens, bro. You're in a fucking middle of the fight. Yeah, shit happens. You wanted to do this, you wanted to be here, and they're gonna be thankful that you broke their nose, so now they're gonna build up that nose cartilage, shit, or whatever, break it down better so they could take more punches. But yeah, bad gear experiences. Alcohol and gear do not mix. Alcohol and Tren do not mix. People that talk and hype it up, those people, you want to stay away from them, just because they're probably just crazy motherfuckers, and they, like, they're just gonna like kind of bring you down in the sense of like bodybuilding. They're just doing all the crazy shit. Like, taking Tren is super crazy on its own. Why would you slam a bunch of alcohol on top of that? I mean, I did it like an idiot, but I learned from it for sure. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be in that headspace and then around people drunk too. It's just like not a good concoction. But being on gear normally is fine. Being on Tren normally, you get used to kind of like those feelings, and you can manage it and you can channel it. But when you're drunk, you just kind of throw everything out the window. You don't give a fuck. You have no fear factor. You have no, voice in your head. You just say what you want to say, and you want to fight people, and it's bad. It's bad. At least that was for me. I'm sure there's everyone has their own experiences with, alcohol and blasting gear and certain gears and certain compounds. But besides the fighting situation and like the aggression, I like the aggression. I love the aggression. I need more aggression. Take that aggression though and apply it into the fucking weight room. Apply it into your physique. Apply it to your fucking dieting. Applying that shit to get better, to get bigger. But besides that, I would say NPP. When I was blasting NPP and test, I did have some really high blood pressure, super high blood pressure, super high cholesterol, so a lot of acne. Really, my cardiovascular system was crashing bad. My heart wasn't doing so good, and I was eating like shit too. So when you're on these compounds, you got to make sure you're eating correctly, you're doing your cardio, and you're keeping your health in check. And you got to just be aware of how you're feeling, because if you're feeling like super drowsy and sickly and like just deathly, that's probably not good. Check your blood pressure, idiot. Do some fucking cardio. Cardio is always good for you. Cardio will always be good for you. 30 minutes a day keeps the doctor away. But yeah, that was just, NPP. A lot of people say NPP, enlarges your heart faster and stuff like that. And I feel like all kind of steroids do, because you're just pumping more blood. You're just pushing more blood through your body. Your heart is an organ, so you're putting more stress on the heart's going to grow. You're putting more growth on organs and muscles through anabolics to grow your body. Like, your whole body grows. So that's kind of the sacrifice you gotta be fucking kind of aware of. Like, yeah, you're gonna get a large heart, bro. You're gonna get a large heart, and you're gonna take some years off your life. And this shit is not for the weak. If you're afraid of dying and you're a scared person of all these things, then 100% stay away from fucking bodybuilding. Stay away from steroids. Matter of fact, stay in your house. Don't go out of your house, because you could fucking die from anything nowadays, man. But if you love this shit, if you love the gym, bro, if you love getting bigger and seeing the results and seeing muscle growth and seeing all that shit, it's 1,000% worth it. Like, I'm not gonna be that guy that was like, oh, I wish I did this, or I could have been Mr. Olympia. I had the fucking potential, I just didn't fucking do it. I used to bench 405. I'm not gonna be that guy that lives with regret, bro. That's why I chase everything. That's why I'm chasing this dream with everything I got, bro. All my money, all my cards on the table. Plan A, go big or go home. Plan A doesn't work out, figure it out, make it work. Learn from it. And that's why I stopped drinking alcohol. I'm fucking about to be a year sober here soon. And it's not a big deal to other people, but as a younger person in their 20s, I'm not super young, but I'm in my 20s, and that's a big deal. Everyone I know who drinks alcohol. Literally, my girlfriend's parents own a bar, and they drink alcohol all the time. My best friend's parents drink alcohol all the time, and it's so common. It's like, fuck, bro, like, I feel like an outlier. I feel like the weirdo, because I don't drink alcohol and I take steroids, so I'm like a double weirdo. You take steroids, so you're bad, and you don't drink, you're fucking weird. It's like, who gives a fuck what people say, man? Who gives a fuck what they say? What's gonna help you be better tomorrow? Fucking making the right decision today. Not drinking that shit, not eating that shit, doing that cardio, getting those fucking reps in, going harder than last time, fucking pushing heavier weight, overloading that fucking muscle, squeezing that shit, getting sick fucking pumps, doing more research, learning, growing, experiencing. Who gives a fuck what people think, man? You live your life for what people think. You want to be a replica of what everybody wants you to be, or you're gonna be yourself, bro. Everybody's already taken. Fuck everybody else. Just be yourself, bruh. Be your fucking self. Don't drink alcohol when you're on gear, because it's gonna cancel out the fucking gear, and you're just gonna do more damage on your organs. You're gonna, and if your goal is to get bitches without anabolics. Why do you need anabolics to get bitches? That's just pathetic. You should be able to push yourself mentally confident enough to pull bitches. Damn, fucking camera died again. All right, long story short, stay off the juice if you're gonna drink. And if you can't give up drinking, then don't take the juice, man. I mean, it's one thing if you want to just stay on test and like a low dose of test and drink and stuff, that's fine, and you're not focused on being a big bodybuilder and growing. But if you want to grow and you're putting yourself first, don't fucking drink, man. It boggles my brain why people they're like so dedicated to the gym. They're bodybuilders, but then they party all the time. They go out every weekend. And it's like, you're just destroying your progress, man. You're just destroying yourself. Why do that? Why push yourself backwards when you're taking all this shit, working your ass off to get forwards? Don't do that. So, worst experiences were with Tren, test, and alcohol. Specifically, a lot of Tren and a lot of alcohol. Just stay away from drinking, man. When you're on those compounds, it's not the compounds, it's honestly drinking, because you're not in control of yourself, and even if you're in your like normal state of mind, you can like control your emotions even on crazy amounts of compounds. Like, you could still like keep that shit in your brain and not like explode on somebody, rip someone's head off. But like the drinking just completely like blinds you and just shuts your brain off, and you don't even remember what you're doing. You're just being an absolute dick fuck. And it's for no reason, bro. Like, why make all this progress in the gym and work your ass off just to push yourself backwards by drinking and eating like shit on the weekend, man? It just makes no sense. You don't work your ass off and train your fucking ass off and do all this shit just to cheat on your diet, just to drink. Like, no, you do it for your fucking results. You do it to get better. You do it to grow. You do it for you. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Another Car Talk question Q&A, weekly Q&A. Please drop any more Q&A ideas. I love doing these. I love just talking and just giving out my advice and stories and stuff like that. I feel like it's kind of interesting to hear somebody, put that information out there, because a lot of people don't. And I think that's dumb, and I think people should, and I think that's what makes people more interesting and more, more authentic, is when, they speak their story and just kind of, help others not make the same mistakes and help others win. And, if I go back in time, I'd stop drinking sooner and take steroids sooner. But unless that's something you really want to do, if you really want to be a bodybuilder and go into fucking that stuff, then do it. But if you really just want to see growth in the gym and stay natty, yeah, bro, cut out drinking. I mean, like, I still made gains drinking as a natty, when I was 19, 20, 21. But I'm sure I would have made more gains, because that version of myself that didn't drink is probably outworking the version of myself that did. It just makes sense. It's just, why push yourself backwards is what I'm saying. But without further ado, love you guys. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.